Hi, I'm Grant Moon, making a series of videos for Mustad for the Road to Calgary 2014. This hind Roadster is a left hind with a cork and wedge, plain stamped for 7 nail holes. This type of shoe is a light working horse hind. The shoe's a slightly pointed shape because it's typically used with a toe clip. The outside branch runs almost parallel all the way to the end, but the inside branch runs in a taper so it can be fitted a little tighter to the foot to help prevent brushing. If you look at the shoe from the side, the toe is thick and the shoe tapers down to its thinnest in front of the heels. This is to save some weight. This Roadster hind is to be made in 18 minutes. What I've got is 29.5 centimeters of 25 by 12. I'm going to mark the material 12 millimeters to the inside, 24 millimeters longer on the outside. My first heat, I'm going to heat the toe of the shoe about 40 millimeters each side of center. I'm going to localize the heat and bump the toe. In the same heat I bump it, I'm going to bend the toe. I'm going to make a tight toe bend so that we have a hind shoe shape. Localize the heat, 40 mil each side of center. Nice tight toe bend. Set my toe quarters. Flatten the inside edge of the toe. In the reverse wedge on it. Thicken the outside edge of the toe. We're going to taper the branch from the first nail hole to the heel. We're going to take the heel down to about 5/8 on the end. So it's going to be a constant taper from the first nail hole to the heel. Once we've tapered it, then I'm going to pull the ground surface up to start my wedge. I'll set it over the anvil, and I set over the anvil whatever the original web width was. So this is 25 millimeters. So once I've narrowed it up, I'll put 25 millimeters over the edge of the anvil to set down. Then I'll pull the wedge up, and as I'm pulling the wedge up, I'll be forging it down to get rid of any holes in it. Set the toe quarter, just narrowing it up, tapering it down 5/8 on the end. As I come to the end this time, I'm pulling it up into a wedge, to a point. I set it over 25 millimeters, set it down, drive it into the corner, get it locked in, then pull it down as a wedge. Constant taper from the first nail hole down to the heel. Nice taper in it. Now we can rasp that heel up. In the front, clean the corners off a little. When we're using the rasp, we're like a sculptor. That's what we've got to think of. We're creating the shape that we want. Now we've got our wedge done and our branch drawn down. Next heat will be the outside branch. I'll narrow the outside branch, but I won't taper it. So from the first nail hole, I'll take it down 1/16 of an inch, and I'll narrow the whole thing 1/16 of an inch. Then I'll put 25 millimeters over again. That's the original web width. And that'll give me a heel proportionate to my inside. I'll set it with my hammer half on and half off the anvil. Once I've set it, I'll turn it over and I'll get a fast bend into the heel cork. I'll start forging my heel cork, and I want to contain the material. So it's very important to be working all sides of the heel cork, not just hitting it on the top. Set my toe quarter, narrow the branch up, 25 millimeters over the edge, half on and a half off the endo. Bend the heel, fast bend. When I start driving the heel cork in, I lift up a little so it hits the anvil right away. Remember to keep it blocked up against the anvil. Start tapering the back. But make sure you work all the sides. Taper it up a bit more. Keep it square. Tight. Start turning it to the direction of travel. Levering out with your hand, with your tongs. Right now, I'm just going to give a little bit of cleaning up with the rasp on the heel cork. Take the half round file, I cut into the bottom of it, making sure I get a square corner. So right now we've got the basic blank made. We've got 3 heats invested in it. We've got a bump and a toe bend, an outside branch, and inside branch. When we get a full heat on it now, we can just put in a last bit of clean forging before we bend it. So right now, I've got the outside at 160, the inside at 150, which would be about correct. But I want to bring both of them out about another 5 millimeters before I bend them. Come out, I'll clean up my forging. Now I'll bend my branch. Work all my edges in, flatten it, get a really nice smooth finish on it. Work the edges, nice flow in your branch. That punch deep, they should come out fairly easy. Go into the vise now, give it a good rasping up, box the end of the heel off, box the side of the heel off, take the edge off right round to the toe. Give it a half round file, clean it up. Last time through the nail holes. Check my nail holes, mustard E6. Yeah, we're all ready to go on for my inside branch. Just going to tidy up my inside branch. hind shape. I'll check my nail holes. I'll make sure that they're both the same. Just in front of the widest point. One in the middle. Work my edges. Work the outside edge. Half round file around the inside edge. Clean up the bearing surface, shouldn't need much. So we'll add a last heat, we'll give it a quick wire brush. Make sure it's level. Final wire brush, and we're done.